others will step in for its place in the next school year. Longstanding member of the HAC Conference, Fremont, joining the Metro Conference pending approval by the Metro. HAC Conference officials say, though, they are welcoming Lincoln Standing Bear and Lincoln Northwest High Schools to the conference starting next year. Both schools have seen increased enrollment and are expected to compete at the Class A level beginning next year. After all this realignment, the HAC will have 12 teams. Going to see another cool down this weekend. Details on the way in your AccuWeather forecast. This is News Channel Nebraska.
The weather is brought to you by Teammates Mentoring.
News Channel Nebraska, hoping you are enjoying this fair to Midland Friday with temps in the 60s and 70s. A very quiet day. We had a cold front move through late last night and this morning, and it's also drying things out for the remainder of today with some light winds, maybe gusts to around 20-25 miles an hour in certain pockets, and that'll be a northwest breeze as well. But that will just be sprinkled around the state as we get into tonight. Things certainly looking pleasant and definitely cooler for our overnights than it has been. Mostly been 50s and 60s in recent times. We're seeing 30s and 40s, and that is a bit of a portender of the weekend as we are seeing once again lots of sunshine, a few passing clouds here and there, but very calm, pleasant weather, a few colder spots, but otherwise should be glorious across the great state there with 60s, 70s, and 80s. Northeast continues to be the cooler spot. There will be a high pressure system coming in Saturday and Sunday, bringing even better weather, a little warmer, and maybe a little moisture too. We'll have all of that coming up in your extended forecast, but the headline is enjoy wonderful weather all weekend long, no matter where you are across the state. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
When it comes to cervical cancer, Faith Regional Physician Services is focused on early detection and prevention. Obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Alex Loudenclose says women should start screening via pap smear when they turn 21.
We collect a pap smear of the cervix, or a swab of the cervix basically, look at it under, the pathologist looks at it underneath the microscope and then gives us a reading of results for that.
Screenings should happen every 3 years. When women turn 30, doctors also start testing for HPV. Loudenclose says screenings are especially important because cervical cancer rarely causes any symptoms in the early stages.
We're looking to catch things even before the point of a cancer diagnosis. And again, those are going to be extremely asymptomatic.
The earlier a doctor can detect the cancer or warning signs of cervical cancer, the better.
A lot of what we're able to do and a lot of what we're able to accomplish based off the screenings is both early diagnosis and early treatment. So a lot of times the biopsies that we take and some of the things that we need to do early to give us a diagnosis, they can also be curative at that point, where moving on and later it becomes more of a struggle or sometimes an issue to treat.
HPV can cause cervical cancer. Advancements in prevention of that condition have helped lead to fewer cancer diagnoses in recent years.
The Gardasil vaccines and HPV vaccines have made a huge jump in helping prevent some of the cervical cancers.
If a patient is diagnosed with cervical cancer, treatment can vary based on the size and advancement of the cancer and if the patient wants to have children.
Sometimes we can just cure that with a biopsy. To the other extreme that may need radiation chemotherapy versus those that are done with childbearing, typically those we move on to a hysterectomy.
In Norfolk, Michael Shively, News Channel Nebraska.
Rumors have been floating about storage concerns for soybeans.